Hi friends. So I just thought that I would record a Vinyasa Flow class to upload to my Facebook and Instagram page for anyone who's at home here in Colorado or in Texas that would like to practice. Just move your body a little bit. It's going to be somewhat challenging, but just take it wherever your body needs and omit anything that does not feel right. So let's get started in child's pose. So come to your mat. Bring your big toes to touch. Allow your knees to go wide as you melt your chest down to your mat. Forehead meets the earth, arms reach out in front of you. And just begin to tap into your breath. Before you change anything, just notice the natural rhythm of your breathing. How your chest rises on each inhale and falls on your exhale. And begin to deepen your breath. So lengthening each inhale and matching that on your next exhale. Moving towards your Ujjayi breathing or yogic breath as you continue to breathe in and out through your nose, constrict the back of your throat. Let's take 2 more cycles. And on your next inhale, begin to sit back on your heels, draw your knees in towards one another for Thunderbolt. And bring your hands down onto your knees. We'll move through a couple of cat and cow variations here in our Thunderbolt pose. So as you inhale, pull your chest forward, extend your heart up to the ceiling. And exhale, round your back. Pull your navel back towards your spine as you round through your upper back. Inhale. And exhale. Couple more cycles here. Feel free to invite any other movements that feel good to you. So maybe the circular motion here. You can linger in any spot that just feels right. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, return to center as you reach your arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring your right hand down to your right hip. Inhale, reach up through your crown, up through your left fingertips. And exhale, reach over towards the right side of the room. Lateral stretch, so feel the space in between your left ribs expand. Nice and deep breaths here. As you inhale, come back through center, and exhale, left hand comes down. Inhale, lengthen up through your crown, up through your right fingertips, and exhale, reach over to the left. Inhale draws you up through center. As you exhale, bend your elbows, cactus your arms, and then pull your chest through to the ceiling, shoulder blades squeeze for a gentle back bend and chest opener. As you inhale, walk your hands out in front of you, tuck your toes under, and exhale to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back, heels go towards your mat. They don't have to reach there. And just begin to pedal out your feet. Bend one knee and then the other. Just Wake up your hamstrings, say hello. And find some stillness here for 2 more breaths. Push down and forward through the L's of your hands as you lift your hips up and back. On your next inhale, rise high into the balls of your feet. Send your gaze towards your fingers. As you exhale, slowly step up to meet them. Forward fold, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, deep bend in your knees, ragdoll. So you can grab opposite elbows. You can sway from side to side. Or if it feels nice, maybe you interlace your hands behind your back. Just let gravity do the work here. Pull everything down. One more deep breath. Then release your fingertips down to your mat as you inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, slowly, 1 vertebrae at a time. Begin to roll up to stand. Head should be the last thing to stack. Tadasana, mountain pose. When you arrive, lift your shoulders up, reach them back, and roll them down. Palms face forward. Then bring your awareness into your feet. And try and root all 4 corners of your feet down into your mat. So to find those 4 corners, begin to rock back and forth and sway from side to side. Just feeling each corner root down into the earth. Feel grounded. Feel supported and stable. Take 1 more breath. Then pull your hands to heart center. And I like to use this moment of my practice to set an intention. It can be a single word, can be a mantra or a phrase that you've been repeating over to yourself. Just something that you can carry with you to every single asana that we move through. Put a little bit of intention behind each movement, each breath. And something you can return to. On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open as you reach your arms up overhead, extended mountain pose. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen up. And exhale, step back to plank pose. So really pushing down through your hands. You find a little slight puff through your upper back. Tailbone draws down to your heels, chest pulls forward slightly. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Last one. Stay for your exhale. On your next inhale, shift forward, shoulders slightly over wrist. As you exhale, slowly begin to lower everything down onto your belly. Untuck your toes when you arrive. As you inhale, chest lifts, cobra pose. Exhale, release. 1 more inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, release. Tuck your toes under as you inhale, push up to plank. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 full deep breaths. On your next inhale, look to your hands. As you exhale, step or jump to meet them, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Take a deep breath in. Stay for your exhale. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, 2 breaths. Just moving through a couple of sun salutation A's to begin to warm up the body, build heat internally, and connect with our breath. Inhale, look to your hands. Exhale, step or hop to meet them. Inhale to lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, root to rise. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step or jump back. Plank pose or chaturanga. Move through your flow, we'll meet in downward facing dog. From down dog, right leg lifts, 3-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose, pull it in and hug it close. Then plant your foot in between your hands, back knee lowers down. As you inhale, Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge. Then on your next inhale, lift up out of your front leg. And as you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. 2 more like this. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, inhale. Exhale. And hold. Then go ahead and bring your right fingertips down into your mat, or you can use a block here. As you inhale, lengthen up through your left fingertips. And exhale, reach over towards the right side of the room for a lateral stretch. So breathe space into your left side body. 1 more breath. As you inhale, return to center. And exhale, plant your hands down as you shift your hips back for Ardha Hanuman half splits. Then you can wiggle your right foot out in front of you a little bit more. But we want to think about keeping the hips parallel and facing straight down to your mat. So think about pulling your right hip back in space as your left hip pulls forward. So it's this slight action here. When you have this, pull your chest forward to lengthen. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands out as you fold over your front leg. Send your breath to the back of your right leg into your hamstring. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, rebend your front knee. Then turn your left toes over to the right side of the room. So you straighten your front leg, rise up for gate pose. So right toes turn to face on the left side of the room. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. And exhale, right hand to right leg, left arm reaches up and over. Send your gaze up and under your left arm. 1 more breath. On your next inhale, begin to rise back up as you cartwheel your hands to the back of your mat. Turn and pivot onto the ball of your right foot. Pull your left knee up into your nose. And exhale, extend your left leg up and back, 3-leg dog. Then you can bend here, open your hip up. You can draw some circles. And square your hips off, re-extend your left leg high. As you exhale, knee to nose, pull it in. plant your foot in between your hands, back knee lowers down, Anjaneyasana on your inhale. Settle in. And we'll begin to move through those pulses. So as you inhale, lift up out of your front leg, and exhale, sink a little bit deeper. 2 more. Last one. And hold here. Then keeping everything the same in the low body, bring your left fingertips down onto your mat or onto a block. As you inhale, reach up through your right fingertips, and exhale, lengthen over to the left side. One more breath. As you inhale, return through center, and exhale, plant your hands down, half splits, Ardha Hanuman. And again, you can wiggle your left foot out in front of you. But think about pulling your left hip back, right hip forward this time. See if that straightens and squares off your hips. And as you exhale, fold over your legs. Breathe into your left hamstring. One more breath. On your next inhale, lift halfway, rebend your front knee. Then turn your right toes to the left side of the room, straighten your front leg and open up, gate pose. And here we want our left toes to face the left side of the room, arms reach up overhead. As you exhale, left hand to left leg, right arm reaches over to the left. One more breath. Inhale, return through center. Cartwheel your hands down at the top of your mat, pivot onto the ball of your left foot. As you pull your right knee into your nose. And exhale, 3-leg dog. Go ahead and bend your knee, open your hip up on this side. Draw some circles. Square your hips back off and find downward facing dog or child's pose for 3 to 5 breaths. Take a moment to remember your intention, revisit that. Find a moment to tune into your breath again if you lost it. On your next inhale, rise high into the balls of your feet. Send your gaze towards your hands. And as you exhale, step or hop to meet them, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From down dog, right leg lifts, 3-leg dog. Exhale, knee to right tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee over to your left tricep and hold. See if you can pull your leg up just a little bit higher. Then extend your leg out. Pivot onto the long edge side of your back foot. So you lift your hips for rock star. Left arm reaches towards the front room. Should feel a nice stretch through your left side body. One more breath. Keeping everything the same in your lower body, just begin to lower your hips down, coming into a straddle stretch. And you can readjust your legs when you arrive. You can widen them as well if that's more comfortable. As you inhale, lift up through your chest, and exhale, begin to walk your hands out in front of you. Just coming down into your forearms is okay as well. You can also stay lifted like this, or use blocks here. But we want to keep our legs active and engaged. So think about keeping your feet flexed as you pull your toes back towards your shins. Let's take 2 more breaths. Last one. On your next inhale, begin to rise back up as you walk your hands to the top of your mat, pivot up onto the ball of your right foot. And then swing, or your left foot, and then swing your right leg up and back, 3-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant your foot in between your hands, back heel spins down. So you open up, warrior 2. You can readjust your feet here, but find heel to arch alignment. You want a nice deep bend in your front leg. And look down at your front knee. You see that your knee is turning in. Pull it open towards the right. So continuing to open up through your right inner leg, right inner thigh. Take a deep breath here. As you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Keeping the depth in your front leg as you inhale, front palm flips. Exhale, reverse. One more breath. Inhale, return to warrior 2. Exhale, side angle pose. Right forearm to right thigh, left arm reaches up and over. And think about pulling your left hip back as your right hip pulls forward. Same with your ribs. Left ribs pull back, right ribs pull under. So you get this revolving open here. One more breath. On your next exhale, swing your left arm down and around for a wide leg forward fold. So turn all 10 toes to face the front of the room. What is the front of the room now? Toes turn in, heels turn out. As you inhale, lift halfway, lengthen up, and exhale, fold over. And then see if you can shift your weight more into the balls of your feet. As you continue to draw your sits bones up to the ceiling, lengthen your crown down towards your mat. And breathe. 2 more breaths. On your next inhale, lift halfway. Then turn your left toes to the back of the mat. As you walk your hands around, you can grab a block if you need to. Going to scoot back just a little bit. Walk your left fingertips out in front of you as you launch up into your half moon Ardha Chandrasana. So trying to revolve your hips open towards the right side of the room. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Left or right leg is active and flat flexed, like you're stepping on a wall behind you. Take 1 more breath. And as you exhale, put a deep bend into your front leg, send your right foot to the back of your mat, reverse your warrior. Cartwheel your hands down, move through a flow. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to right tricep and hold. See if you can pull your knee up a little bit higher. Then extend your left leg out. Pivot onto the ball of the back foot, rock star. Hips go high. Right arm reaches towards the top of the room, top of your mat. Nice lateral stretch through your right side. As you exhale, sink your hips down, straddle stretch, and readjust your legs. And again, keeping your legs active, so feet flex, toes pulling back towards your shins. Inhale, chest lifts. And exhale, fold down and in. This is a good place to slow your breath down. See if you can lengthen each inhale by 1 count. And match your exhale. On your next inhale, begin to lift yourself back up. Hands walk to the back of your mat. Pivot up onto the ball of your right foot. Left leg goes up and back, 3-leg dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Plant your foot in between your hands, back heel spins down, warrior 2. You can readjust your feet to find your heel to arch alignment. It's different for everybody, and it's different for every side. But again, look down at your front leg, and if you see that your knee is turning in, pull it open towards the left, getting more of an opening through your left inner leg. 1 more breath here, deep breath in. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Keeping the depth, inhale, front palm flips. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, side angle. Sometimes I have to scoot my back leg up a little bit, shorten my stance. And again, trying to refine that revolving action through the upper body. So begin at your hips, right hip pulls back, left hip pulls under. Moving up to your ribs, right ribs pull back, left ribs pull under. Exhale, right arm swings down and around. Pivot all 10 toes, face the long edge side of your mat, wide leg forward fold. Toes in, heels out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold down and in. And again, see if you can shift your weight into the balls of your feet. Lift your sits bones up to the ceiling, or crown lengthens down to your mat. 1 more breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Then turn your right toes to the top of your mat. You know where we're going from here, so half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Take your block if you have it with you. Walk your right fingertips out a couple of inches in front of your right toes as you launch up, half moon. Revolve your hips and chest open towards the left side of the room. Back leg is active. Foot flex like you're stepping on the wall behind you. Two more breaths. Then put a deep bend into your front leg. Send your back foot to the back of your mat. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down. Move through your flow. We'll meet in a child's pose. Push your hips back to your heels. Melt your chest down to your mat. Let's take a couple of cleansing breaths together. So release all of your stale air. On your next inhale, sip in the air, fill your lungs up. And exhale, open your mouth, release. One more inhale. And exhale, let it go. Make your way back to a downward facing dog. As you inhale, right leg lifts, three-leg dog. As you exhale, pull your right knee to your right tricep, and then plant your foot to the outside of your right hand for lizard pose. So you can stay here with your back leg lifted, or you can lower your back knee down into your mat. But what you're trying to do is hug your right knee into your right arm. So like you're squeezing everything into the midline. Inhale, lengthen out through your chest. And as you exhale, you can lower down onto your forearms. And just breathe. If your back knee is lower down, see if you can lift it up. Then staying here, staying low, maybe you have to step your back foot up a couple of inches. See if you can wiggle your right shoulder underneath your right knee. So like you're putting on a backpack. You can bring the L of your right hand back behind your right heel. You can stay here, or maybe you wrap your hands around your low back and balance. 2 more breaths. Last one. If you've found that bind, go ahead and release your hands back down. Wiggle your right foot over to the edge of your mat a little bit more. Then step up with your left foot, to the outside of your left hand for Malasana. Lower your hips down. Toes turn out slightly, heels turn in. You can also place a block underneath your sits bones. But bring your hands to heart center and use your triceps to push your knees open. Let's take 2 more breaths. Last one. Then bring your hands down into your mat. Just lower your butt all the way down onto the floor. And then scoot back. We're going to come into Janu Shirsasana. So half butterfly. Left heel is extended to the top of your mat. Right knee or right sole of your foot to your left inner thigh. So your knee opens up. Face this way. As you inhale, arms reach up overhead. Then turn your navel to face your left big toe. As you exhale, fold over your leg. One more breath. On your next inhale, rise back up. So keep everything the same. Just see if you can bring open your left leg up a little bit more. So we're going to come into a variation of revolved half butterfly. So from here, bring your left forearm down to the inside of your left leg. You can use a block as well, or a strap. A strap is good to have here. I don't have one close, so I'm not going to use one. So from here, right arm reaches, and as you exhale, reach your right fingertips towards your left toes. So you can stay here, just working this revolving of your chest open, gaze up under your right arm. You can also use a strap, hooking the strap to the ball of your left foot and hold on with the strap here. Or if you can go a little bit further, bring both hands to your left foot. You work to revolve your chest open. 2 more breaths working this. On your next inhale, rise back up. And bring your hands back behind you over to the right. Lift your hips up. Find a gentle back bend, release here. And lower your hips back down. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Find downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, left knee to left tricep, and step your foot to the outside of your left hand, lizard pose. If you lower down into your back knee, you can do that on this side. But really hug your left knee into your left arm. You can stay here, lower down onto your forearms. 2 more breaths here. And go ahead and lift your back knee up off the mat. You can step your foot up just a little bit if that works better for you. But see if you can wiggle your left shoulder underneath your left knee. So like you're putting on a backpack. You can bring the L of your left hand back behind your heel. You can stay here working this. Or you can find that bind. 2 breaths. Last one. If you came into the bind, slowly release it. Wiggle your left foot to the edge of your mat as you step your right foot up, Malasana. Lower your hips in between your heels, hands to heart center. And breathe. Go ahead and release all the way down onto your bottom. We'll come into Janu Shirsasana on this side. So right heel extends out to the front of your mat. Left sole to your right inner thigh. Inhale, arms reach up. Slight pivot of your navel to face your right big toe. And exhale, fold over. Two more breaths. Last one. Inhale, lift yourself back up, and just open your Janu Shirsasana up a little bit more. So swing your right leg over towards the right. Again, this is a good place for a strap or a block, so if you have one of those close, go ahead and grab it. But right forearm comes down to your right inner thigh. As you inhale, left arm reaches, and exhale, reach your arm towards your right toes. You can stay here. You can see if you can work a little bit further. So grab your right foot with both hands as you revolve your chest open. This is a deep side stretch here. One more breath. As you inhale, rise back up. Bring your left hand back behind you. Lift your hips up. Gentle back bend. Release everything down. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Step back. Downward facing dog. On your next inhale, send your gaze in between your hands, so even further, so to the top of your mat. Rise up high into the balls of your feet. As you exhale, deep bend in your knees. As you step forward, coming to a seat. Then extend your legs out in front of you. So I'm going to walk you through a fun peak posture. Compass pose. So we've been opening up our hips, working the back part of our legs, working this revolving of our chest, nice lateral bends and stretches here. So we are working towards compass pose. So how I like to begin this is we'll begin with the right side. So hug your right shin like you're cradling a baby. And you can keep your left knee bent, or if it's easier for you, you can extend the leg straight out in front of you. Either one works. For this variation, I'm going to keep my left leg bent. So this really helps to work on opening up the hip. So you can stay here if this is all that your body needs this evening. Just stay working this. If you want to go a little bit further, grab the sole of your foot and begin to broaden the opening. So pulling your foot back behind you. Eventually, see if you can work your leg on top of your shoulder. And you can stay here. If you have so right hand comes down to support you like a kickstand. If you have a strap, hook your strap to the ball of your right foot and grab hold of it with your left hand. Then from here, wiggle your right fingertips over towards the right. If you're grabbing just your foot, grab the outside of your right foot as you extend your leg straight up. Revolve your chest open. Look up and under your left arm. Compass pose. We'll take 3 deep breaths here, whichever variation you're in. Last one. And then just release everything. Can roll it out. That feels nice. And we'll switch sides. So cradle your left shin. We'll just begin by rocking back and forth. You should feel this in the outer hip. You can stay here. You can begin to broaden that opening, go a little bit deeper. Bigger movement and action. And when you're ready, working your left leg on top of your left shoulder. Left fingertips come out to your side. Grab the outside of your left foot and extend your leg out as you revolve your chest open. compass pose. 2 more breaths. And release everything down. Just find some of these seated rolls. Then find Dandasana. Staff pose, so it's in both legs straight out in front of you. Keep your feet flexed. Palms come down to either side of your hips. As you inhale, push down to your mat, lift your head towards the ceiling. As you exhale, begin to walk your hands out in front of you and fold over your legs. As you inhale, lift halfway as you roll up to seated. And then hug your right knee in. Cross your right foot over your left leg. Right fingertips come back behind you for a kickstand. Inhale, left arm reaches. And exhale, twist. Getting to close our hips back off from a lot of hip opening. We have a detoxifying element in our twist here. Inhale to center and counter twist. Inhale to center and switch sides. Right heel extends out in front of you. Left knee pulls in as you cross your left foot over your right leg. Left fingertips back behind you. Inhale, right arm reaches. Exhale, twist. One more breath. Inhale to center. Find your counter twist on this side. Inhale, come back through center. And then slowly begin to lower everything down onto your backs. Walk your heels in towards your sits bones when you arrive. Keep your feet hip distance here. Palms come face down into your mat. So we'll move into a couple rounds of bridge pose for our back bend. If it's in your practice and you want to take it further, feel free to take wheel pose in any one of these. We'll come into 2 rounds of back bends this evening. So palms come face down into your mat. As you inhale, root down through your heels as you lift your hips towards the ceiling. Continue to squeeze your inner thighs in towards one another. Adduct your legs together. And then see if you can wiggle your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. Continue to push down and forward through your heels as you lift your hips up. Two more breaths in this round. Last one. And exhale, slowly release everything down. Can windshield wiper your legs. Come into one last round of back bends this evening. So as I said, you can sit with bridge. You can take it supported by placing a block underneath your sacrum. Or if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can find your wheel pose. But when you're ready, setting up for your back bend of choice. As you inhale, lift up. But wherever you are, commit to 5 full deep breaths. On your next exhale, slowly lower everything down. Find Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the soles of your feet together. Allow your knees to open up wide. Place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Feel your heartbeat. Feel your breath. And return to that intention that you set at the beginning of your practice. Whatever it may be, just grab hold of it. And take it with you into the rest of your evening, to the rest of your day, into your everyday life off of your mat. Bring your hands down into your knees as you draw them in towards one another. And go ahead and just walk your feet to the edges of your mat for constructive rest. Knees knock in towards one another. Take a couple of breaths here. On your next exhale, Apanasana, seat pose. Hug your knees close into your chest. Lift your forehead up to meet them. So curl into a nice little ball. Give yourself a nice big hug here. A little bit of loving. I think every one of us could use some human touch and connection. And since in these trying times, we can't be around our friends, we have to give it to ourselves sometimes. Release your head back down into your mat. Come into a gentle supine twist. So bring your arms out to a T. Drop your legs, your knees over to the right side as you shift your hips over to the left. Send your gaze over to your left palm. Inhale to center and switch. Knees over to the left. Send your gaze over to the right. Up through center, you can find a happy baby's pose. Where the soles of your feet, pull your thighs down to either side of your torso. And when you're ready, make your way towards Shavasana, or final resting pose. Extend your legs straight out in front of you. Allow your feet to splay open, palms to face up to receive. And take rest. And if you have more time on your hands, you can stay here in Shavasana however long you need. For those of you that are ready to move on and move forward with your day, find a full body stretch, reach your arms up overhead, lengthen everything out. As you exhale, pull your knees into your chest as you make your way into a fetal pose. You can rest your head down onto your opposite tricep. And gently begin to make your way up to a comfortable seat at the top of your mat. Pull your hands to heart center as you close your eyes down. Just thank yourself for showing up for your practice, for giving your body and yourself exactly what it needs. Some movement, some nourishment, and a little bit of love. Thank you for joining me. Pull your thumbs to your third eye. Namaste.